What up, friends? We are indeed here for football-y things today. I am Jeremy Greene. He is the Canadan David Smith, and I'm sure some of you noticed that we are without the Mr. Spencer. For those of you that don't know, he had a little medical thing on Friday. We give, as Jason Trump said, the low-key fist bump to the PhD. He is he is comfortable. He's good. He's been walking around the neighborhood today and will be rejoining us somehow tomorrow. I am not real sure how that happened. I have always said that when the apocalypse happens, the only thing that will be left are Twinkies, cockroaches, and myself, and apparently Mr. Spencer is every bit as bayonet hell as I am.
He's determined.
He is a bound and determined feller, and he has told me definitively, thank you for all the thoughts, all the prayers, all the things that have been sent his way over the last couple days. We apologize for the sudden, hey, we're not here, because we didn't know exactly what was going on, so tried to handle that the best we could. Then people heard me on high school football and went, oh, wait, something's up. And that was when the old cat was out of the old bag, and so we had to start dropping some truth bombs of don't know exactly what's going on. But Tank is good. I have talked to him very recently. Andy is trying to keep him couch bound, which is not working. If you don't know Tank is, of all the people I've ever met, he cannot sit still. So
well, he doesn't sit.
No, he doesn't sit to do this show. He stands over there for 3 hours. Which is fun, trying to track him down in the screen. But he is good. We thank all of you, the wonderful people that listen to the show, for all of the kind words. He wanted me to express that. Thank you all for all of the kind things that you have said, and the prayers and the thoughts and all those things. And he'll be back. We'll be back on radio tomorrow, quite possibly with a sizable announcement about things changing in the very near future. Ooh, Armchair knows what it is.
It's my secret face.
It will be very good for some of you. It will require an adjustment for some of you, but I can tell you definitively, it is way better for us. So, David Smith, our favorite Canadan, taking time out of the corporate job. He's corporate Canadan today.
Corporate Canadan.
Although I do love that corporate Canadan still has the backwards hat, which corporate Jeremy has that same thing.
That's my trademark. I can't not have it. Look, there was a point when I know you love your wrestling, but not as up on it. But even Kane went to turn it into corporate Kane at one point.
That's true. I did know that.
The suit. So this is corporate Canadan.
And we're very glad. You know, that one of the many things that I love about David Smith is he asked me, I believe it was Saturday, if there's anything I can do. I am here for you. Oh, Adam Black said turn him up a little bit. All right, I'm going to turn him up, and that means I have to pull away from my microphone a little bit.
Yeah, I'm Max here, so.
Yeah, people don't understand that Tank controls all the volumes. I control all the video, and so when there's one of us in here, I mean, I can scurry around the desk if it becomes a real problem. But we'll see if what I just did made the Canadan a little bit more hearable.
Is that better? Are we better now or worse?
It is better for me. We will wait to see in the chat if it's better for all the other folkses. Well, if it's not, I can turn you up, but I'm going to turn me way down.
Where's the house? Give me the house.
One Nation said turn my left earphone up. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how to do any of that.
Yeah, Meadow says it's okay.
You know what I know how to do? I know how to make the commercials fire, which we don't have any of those because we're not on ESPN. Okay, Tal said I'm loud. That's what I was afraid of. But, all right, Canadan, you take over for a second, and I'll moderate myself. Be right back.
All right. It is, hey, look, it's fantasy time. And we are happy that you guys are here. We're happy to talk fantasy football. I'm just happy to be talking football. We're going to have some fun today trying to get you set in your drafts, talking about our don't drafts, our can't quit 'ems.
We're going to have a slew of fun little social media things. David and I were conspiring those before this. So if you miss any part of this, you'll be able to see it in a very funny fashion later on tonight.
Chopped and cut.
Any takeaways? Oh, tomorrow we'll be doing Overreaction Tuesday with Tank about the preseason, all of the things. But any takeaways from the preseason action over the weekend?
Preseason's dumb. It's essential, but it's dumb. Isaiah Bolden got carted out, and I think the Eagles had an injury too, and they didn't stop their game. We're already asking guys to play a game that is needlessly and recklessly violent, which we love, and I would not change, and I don't want to take the violence out of it.
Nope. And anybody that's ever played it will tell you, don't fix that. We don't need you to.
Well, you can't really take it out of it. So I know that we've cut it down by a game. Practice is fine. If your guy gets hurt in practice, that kind of seems like par for the course. But rookie corner it's an uncomfortable hit, and down goes and carted off, and luckily he's back with the team and he's feeling better. But preseason is dumb for that, man. Like, we're really asking guys to go out and kill themselves to try to make a 53-man so they can change their lives. It's tough. It's tough. I was happy to see Bailey Zappi is overrated. I still think that to this day.
So you're not so you think Zappi's a little crappy?
Yeah, I am not a Zappian. I don't get it.
No Zappian for the Canada. We have our first in the chat. First thing that I've looked at and gone, I need to. I need to address. Eat and Sleep Football said, I'm afraid Jaylen Warren might be better than Najee Harris. Let me say this as clearly as I can. He's not. He's not, and it's not really all that close.
We'll get into Najee in a bit.
Yes, because Najee is on, I know one of Armchair's list, and I know one of mine. I know Jaylen Warren had a look. Here's where I'm at on the preseason. If you're putting enough into this to say that Jaylen Warren is better than Najee Harris, then you think the Buffalo Bills are going to go 4-13, because they did not look like an NFL football team, even with their ones out there. I am not choosing to see it that way. I think it's a preseason game. Sean McDermott, he's always put a little in it, but not a ton. So I just don't care that much. Oh, Eat and Sleep said it was a joke. Okay. I understand.
For now.
You got to understand, I'm linked to a lot of Twitter pages where I've heard that very thing, that you should be taking Jaylen Warren like the 12th round as your great sleeper because he's better than Najee Harris. I also don't understand sarcasm very well. So
it's hard. It's hard when we're reading it too. Did you if you haven't already, by the way, we have a fantastic fantasy Discord that's free. We also have some incredible content for people who are part of the Battle for the Belt. Contest links are up on your screen. You can scan those QR codes. Not sure if we have.
Here's I have to implore those of you that want to be involved in Battle for the Belt. Let me implore you, if you're going to get in, please get in this week. I have to send the shirts off to the printers. That takes a bit of time because that's a trade deal with a lovely partner that you will get to hear a lot of things about. If you want to be in, but currently, financial times are the donation's not until December. So don't let that part keep you from doing it. Just make sure you message me and that I respond to it. If I don't respond to it, it means I didn't see it because, well, Jeremy drinks a lot. All right. 3 of you messaged me while I was at a concert the other night, and now I can't for the life of me remember who you were. So I didn't respond because I was white girl wasted, and I saw the messages, and now I don't know where they have gone. So,
in one of the Discords that I'm in, actually, I think it's an Armchair's Discord, I posted the 3 easy steps to identify a sleeper. You want to hear what those are? This is the quickest way to find a sleeper pick, because everybody always talks about, I got to find a sleeper. A team that has all 3 phases of the game ready to go. So they're a team that's built. It's a proper team. So they have special teams and defense, and they're going to win games. It's not a consensus pick. Picking someone on the Chiefs like Patrick Mahomes to be a good quarterback, That's not a sleeper. And 3, the circumstances got to make it ripe for a better win-loss than expected. So strength of schedule. Let's say you're playing a bunch of bums. That's how you pick a sleeper. Jalen Warren's not that guy.
No, I've seen what he is. I know he is.
Najee's still there. Let's not get rid of Najee because of a bad year.
So in the YouTube chat, Adam Black asked, "Is this a pledge and donation issue?" I don't know what that means. I will be so we have to pay for all of the things. The belt, most of the things are donated. The belt is not. It is greatly discounted from what it actually cost. Once we pay for all of the things that go into this, because the shirts are donated. So that's all of the other ancillary things, those are covered. We do have to pay for the belt. We do have to pay for a couple other things. Once that's paid for, all the rest of it goes to Eblen Charities. So I don't know if that answered the question you were asking, but that's what the business is. Tank nor AC nor I take any money from this.
Nope.
All right. So I feel like it's time that we discuss what we are here for, and that's our do draft, do not draft, and our just I can't quit you lists. And since we started with I can't quit you, because one of the guys Najee Harris is one of my I can't quit you.
So one of mine, it's the same for me.
He is an I can't quit you because I know how talented he is. And I know that offense is better. I feel like the weapons help. I cannot get away from, at some point, Najee Harris is going to have a year like Josh Jacobs just had. Am I out of my mind for saying that?
No. Najee Harris ran well. He was not blocked for well.
No, blocking was awful. The offensive line was abysmal.
Yeah, and that to me is when you look at Najee, you don't look at, well, is this a talent issue? Or are you just like, are you not where we thought you were? And I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is it's not a skill issue. It's a problem with offensive line. It's hard to hit the hole when there isn't one created. When there isn't a hole created, it's impossible to hit. And Danny Finsfan asked, schedule doesn't hurt Najee? Maybe, but we can't quit him. I can't give up. It's a can't quit guy.
All right. So you say the schedule with Najee. What am I really afraid of? All right. Am I afraid of Cincinnati defensively?
Not really.
Because I'm not. Am I afraid of Baltimore defensively?
A little bit. The back end terrifies me, but I mean, I respect Baltimore. I'm not going to say I'm terrified of them. No.
But then I look at that Steelers schedule and I see a lot of Raiders, Texans, Rams, who, oh, by the way, the Los Angeles Rams are going to start 9 guys on defense that don't belong in the NFL. If I've learned anything from 2 weeks of the preseason, it's that. Whoever plays the Rams a lot, you should want all of them. Anybody in the NFC West, I am going to bathe myself in because the Rams suck something awful.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about the schedule with Najee, and then I look at the playoff schedule. You get the Colts, the Bengals, and the Seahawks. Am I really worried about that?
No.
I mean, the Colts are fine. The Bengals are fine. I think the Seahawks defensively are good, but if there's a way I can attack them, it's by running the ball.
Overall, the schedule isn't I don't look at that schedule and I go, that's bad for running backs. Don't touch them.
I really don't either. There's
more positives, more wins, more winnable situations there. And we're not talking about will the Steelers win all these games, because I don't think they will. But will they be able to run the ball effectively? Hell yeah.
Rushman said the Rams were all in on that Super Bowl season. Yes. And what did it cost them?
Everything.
Because they're awful. The thing where I go with Najee Harris is I looked to last year. All right. And a lot of people say, but Najee wasn't good last year. He finished 15th in the NFL in rushing yards.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Where was he in catches?
Oh, Lord. That's a good question. I didn't plan on that question. Let's see. He had 41 catches last year on 53 targets. So they didn't throw to him as much as they had in the previous year, but they also didn't stop running with him. He had 307 carries his first year, had 272 last year. Now, let me tell you a stat about Najee Harris that at the very least it blows my mind. Do you know the running backs that had more carries last year than Najee Harris?
Nick Chubb.
That's one.
Josh Jacobs.
That's two.
Saquon.
That's three. Missing number one.
I'm missing number one. Who's number one? Eckler?
He would be the guy that's on the cover of this here YouTube shenanigans.
Oh, Henry?
It's Derrick Henry. That's the only four running backs in the NFL that had more carries than Najee last year. Now, do you know what they all have in common? Other than they had more carries than Najee Harris. Where'd they finish in fantasy football last year?
Not the top.
In standard, they were 1, 3, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
In PPR, they were 3, 4, 5, and 6. Najee finished 14th. The ceiling on him is outrageous.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3. He could be RB1.
The floor is what he was last year. Hey, guess what? You're drafting him at his floor.
I'll take that any day.
I mean, to me, there's no risk with Najee Harris because there are times that you're getting him in the third round, which to me is stupid. I'm looking at a lot of high-end running backs that are going behind him.
I would happily take Najee in round 2.
I would too.
And you're like anything within 12 to 24, I would take.
So right now, just looking at ADP, how many running backs are ahead of Najee Harris? This is according to Fantasy Pros.
8.
Currently, he is going as RB10 with the first pick in the third round. Okay. Josh Jacobs is going in front of him, which to me is insane. Oh, buddy's coming back, and he hasn't been in camp. You know what happens to running backs that aren't in camp that show up week 1? They tend to get hurt. People are going to lose their minds that the Raiders ran it down the Rams' throat. Everybody's going to run it down the Rams' throat. Oh, but Zamir White looked good. That doesn't mean anything for this calendar year.
No.
Derrick Henry's going in front of him, which to me is insane. Jonathan Taylor's going in front of him, which to me is insane. The other 6 are Tony Pollard, Nick Chubb, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey. Those 6 I get. The first 3 I said, not so much. I know if Najee Harris plays 17 games, he's going to get no less than 300 touches. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
A fact. Not many players in this league can say that.
No. Can we secret time about Tony Pollard for a quick second?
Oh, this should be fun.
I'm Seacrest out.
On Pollard?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. What's the most carries Pollard's had in his career?
210?
Yeah. And now you're asking him to do 300 plus after being hurt?
Are we asking him to do that, though? Is he going to last year, how many running backs had 300 carries? 3. I don't see a path that he's going to be that high.
Let's say 270, 280. What I'm saying is he's looking at an increased workload in an offense where he was excelling when he was a decreased workload back. And I know that Zeke ate a lot of that up, and I know that they spread the ball around. There are other guys that did it. I don't like it. It scares the daylights out of me, you can have him. I will gladly walk away from Pollard. I'll take Najee over Pollard.
I don't know that I would. By the way, the correct answer on Pollard was 193. That's how many he had last year.
Yeah, so that scares me. That's a jump. 190 to let's.
And he doesn't catch as many passes as you think.
Passes, I'm not worried about, but 250, that's scary. 250, 60 more touches.
Coming off an injury, I mean, I get it.
So
I get your aversion. I don't agree with it, but I get it.
So 60 more touches. That's, let's say 20. What are we doing a game? 20 per game?
Yeah, I would say he's in the 18 to 20 per game range.
That's a lot of touches. It's just I feel like coming off an injury, it scares me. I don't like it as much. People can do it. I get it. It's my spicy take for the season. I am out on Pollard, and I'm okay with being wrong about it. I'm really okay with being wrong about it because there are so many other weapons that I like better.
I like Tony Pollard a lot. I don't know that we're not currently too rich for my blood because he's going 16 overall.
Yeah,
and I struggle to get
Najee
there.
At 16? That's what I'm saying. Najee at 16, I would take.
I don't know that I can get that high. I don't know that I mean, I wouldn't be averse to it. I just don't think I have to do it.
You don't have to do it. Realistically, you don't, unless you're playing with the Steelers fan.
And even then, if you're going to
know your league mates, here's a free piece of advice. Know who your league mates are.
That's true. If you're playing with a Steelers fan, you're Tron 2484. Deuce was a beast in college. That's what he just said. That's where I'm getting is I don't think you're going to see as many carries for Tony Pollard as everybody thinks. I think he's in that 240 to 250 because I think they like Deuce Vaughn a lot. And people look at how small he is and they just go, well, he can't be the handcuff. But can he, though? Because I think he can't. Look, Rico Dowdle is from 6 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. I don't think he's good for more than 5 or 6 carries a game. So somebody's going to catch running back snaps, and I think it's Deuce Vaughn.
It's probably Deuce Vaughn.
But that scares me that now Tony Pollard is not going to get a big bump in the passing game, which makes me think we're taking him too high.
Yes.
I like him. I just don't know that I'm taking him 16 overall.
I'm out. You can have him.
It's
at
high
16,
for me.
You can definitely have him.
It's high for me.
I'll let the Cowboys fans draft him.
I get it. I have another guy on my list, and you're a Patriots fan, and this is a guy on my I can't quit you list. And I feel like if anybody was here to tell me that I'm out of my damn mind, it would be you. Tramondre Stevenson, I can't quit you.
No, I'm not going to tell you to quit him. He's our only weapon. I said that on the show already.
So you're not believing in the youngster? Your kid out of Liberty whose name is eluding me for some reason? Why can I not think of this kid's name?
Pierre Strong?
No, he's a running back. Demario Douglas.
Oh, Demario Douglas. I believe that Bill will give the ball where he thinks it's most safe.
I feel like I can look at the New England Patriots and tell you what their offensive depth chart's going to look like. Literally, and I would bet my house on it. Your 6 receivers are going to be Juju Smith-Schuster, Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne, Tyquan Thornton, Demario Douglas, Matthew Slater. You may try to slip fat Kayshon Boutte onto your practice squad because ain't nobody jumping up to fall on that grenade.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure Demario Douglas isn't the second or third best name on that roster. And that's kind of where I'm headed with this, is that people are freaking out about Ramondre Stevenson because of Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know that it has any role.
No.
I don't think he actually changes anything for me. Bill Bootycheek said the Patriots are better than the Jets. Armchair, you're on the screen. Can you please can you get your boy? Like, he says it to me every day, and then he calls me a homer.
So I'm the least Homer Patriot fan you'll probably run into.
I would agree with that.
And I try my best to try and keep a level, especially when we're talking fantasy or we're talking like actual football. I keep a pretty level head about it. On paper, the Jets are a better team, but I still have this concern the Jets are going to jet.
Okay, so
they're a better team, but they're better than the Patriots, man. They're better than
100%. So I'm going to ask this question because this leads me into I've got to have them. I've got to have them, and I'm going to have them. The Jets running backs, Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall. I want them in round 4 and 5 on the turn. I'll take them both. I'll grab Michael Carter late, and I am hunky-dunky.
Yeah, I'm in with that.
We Tank and I did this on another show of how good can 2 running backs on one roster be? We have countless examples of 2 running backs being RB1, RB2 on the same team.
Yes.
This is the best combination of running backs I've ever seen on the same team. I can't think of one better. I mean, at least not in the fantasy football era. All right, you can go back to Tony Dorsett and all those guys back in the 70s and 80s. This is completely different. This is 2 high-end top 13 running backs in the NFL. And they're on the same team.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, the New York Jets offensive line it's a work in progress. You know where it's not a work in progress? On the interior. The 2 guards in the center, I know exactly what that's going to look like. The 2 tackles? But one of the great ways to keep hellhounds away from you, screen passes and draws. Who's that benefit? Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall.
That is a great point. I am absolutely in on Green Bay running backs. That actually brings me to a don't draft for me, which is Aaron Rodgers.
So you're going don't draft Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
I 100% agree with you.
I love the run game. I think people think that Aaron Rodgers is going to throw it a billion times a game, and I think that is the opposite of what's going to happen.
I agree.
I think he's going to be efficient. I think he'll probably throw 17, 20 passes a game.
No, it's more than that. Nobody throws that few. But I will say this. All right, Aaron Rodgers in his career, and this is since he became the full-time starter, the fewest passes he's thrown in a season where he played 16 games was 520. That's the number in my head. He only threw it 542 times last year. Yeah. That's not that many.
He doesn't. The most he's ever thrown is 610 attempts. And the fewest,
that was in 2016, the year that one of the years that he was real damn good at football.
He threw 475 in 2010.
Last year, 11 quarterbacks threw over 500 times. Now, you got to take into account that there were only 8 that played 17 games.
Sure.
Even playing 17 games, I don't think Aaron Rodgers gets to 520 attempts.
So that's 30 attempts a game.
Yep. And I would say he's in the 28 to 35 every week.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
I'm not sure he can be a QB1 doing that.
No, I think that this is going to be, we're going to see an Aaron Rodgers that is efficient. I think we're going to see an Aaron Rodgers that is going to want to win. I think we'll see a Jets team that's going to win a lot, but it's not going to be gunslinger mentality. I think this is going to be run the clock, score the points, give it back to them. It's going to be methodical. It's probably not going to be like the most exciting games to watch, but you're going to love every second of it.
I am going to love it because this is my kind of football. I want to play good defense. I want to run the ball, and I want to have I want to have an efficient quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over. That's what I'm after. I don't need to go high flying and throw it 700 times like Tom Brady did last year. Frankly, 9 times out of 10, that ends badly.
Yeah, usually.
So I'm with you. I'm out on Aaron Rodgers, and I'll go one step further. I'm out on Garrett Wilson, too.
I'm okay with that.
I'm out on Garrett Wilson, too. Not because he's not a good player. I think he's a great player. I think he's one of the 5 best receivers in the NFL. Here's my problem. Here's the receivers you're having to take him around. Because right now, he's going in as wide receiver 9. Right behind Jefferson, Chase, Hill, Kupp, Diggs, Brown, Lamb, Devontae Adams. That's who he's going behind, and I agree with every one of those.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the ones going behind him. Amon-Ra St. Brown, no shot I'd take Garrett Wilson over him. None.
Nope.
Jalen Waddle.
No.
No. Devontae Smith.
No.
Nope. Deebo Samuel.
No.
Chris Olave.
Closer, but no.
Calvin Ridley.
Definitely not.
Amari Cooper.
No.
T. Higgins.
No.
DJ Moore. That's the line.
Yeah.
That's where it gets to, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
I love Garrett Wilson. I think he's a great player. I don't think there's enough volume in this offense to sustain Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall, a number 1 wide receiver, which is what Garrett Wilson would have to be to pay off where you're having to take him.
Ty Conklin.
And all those tight ends. I'm so glad you said that. The Jets are telling you what they're doing if you'll listen. There's 3 tight ends on this roster. They're all 3 making it. I'll bet you anything you want to bet. Conklin, Yazama, Jeremy Ruckert. They all make this team. I'm not sure a 4th one doesn't make it, and let me tell you why I say that. They drafted Zach Kuntz in the 7th round, and they gave E.J. Jenkins the 3rd biggest guarantee of any tight end in the NFL that was an undrafted free agent. And I'm not sure they could sneak him on the practice squad. I'm not telling you he's going to make a roster. So. I'm just telling you they're very invested in tight ends. And now, would you care to guess why that is?
Tight ends are good blockers.
Tight ends are good blockers. And Aaron Rodgers loves throwing it to tight ends.
Loves throwing it to tight ends. See Bob Tunyon.
Where do you have okay, first of all, I'm assuming you have Ty Conklin as your Jets tight end that you want.
Yes.
Where do you have him?
Probably tight end 4.
Whoa, that is super high.
5. So I'll have to pull up my sheet, but I have some guys falling out that previously did not. Like I have Kelsey 1, Andrews 2, Waller 3. No, I don't have him 4. Kittle, Hawk, Goddard, and then Conklin over Freiermuth, Ingram, Pitts, Njoku, Dulcich, Kincaid, Gesicki.
So yeah. I saw Eric Miller talking about 0 running back theory in the chat. I'm going 0 tight end theory, and I'm finding a way to get Conklin and Chikakonkwo and calling it good.
You should be fine.
Tim Raymond, and this has been said. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I'm not used to being the one that air traffic controls, so bear with me. He will be back tomorrow. They were talking about Darren Waller. Did you have Darren Waller on any of your lists?
I should. I can't quit Darren Waller.
I can't either. I want to just hold hands on a beach somewhere with him because he's good, and I know he's good, and the Giants receivers suck.
I have 2, so a must-have on the Giants and a can't quit from the Giants. And Waller,
your must-have is Saquon because you've been telling me MVP all offseason long.
It is, and I stand by it. He is pissed. He's pissed. He wants to show everyone that he deserved to get the big money, whether we agree or not that he deserved to get big money. He thinks that he deserved it, and he's going to show everybody when he is healthy and in an offense that's doing well. It's pretty tough to stop. And with Waller, that gives them a different dimension because now it's not. I mean, you're not trying to find I don't know, Shepard down the side. Like who? Like they don't have anyone that get. Kadarius Toney's gone. Who are you throwing to that's not named Darren Waller?
Okay,
like,
so
realistically,
all right. So I'm going to tell you a strategy that I really like, because right now, where is Darren Waller going in ADP?
Oh, probably in the 60s, wouldn't he be?
65. That makes him a 6th round pick.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite draft strategy is I take Travis Kelce in the first, so I know I'm deep dicking all of you at tight end. I'm 5 points ahead of you before the week even starts, and I don't give a damn who your tight end is. Take Travis Kelce in the first. Then when I come back around, I want some combination. If I get Pat Mahomes, I'm going to give myself over the pants HJs, and it's going to be good times. I'm trying to get Darren Waller in the 6th. I have 2. And here's why. I can play Darren Waller in the flex, and that flex is probably better than that third receiver you're going to play. And if I have him, you don't. So now I've taken my advantage with Travis Kelce and multiplied it a little bit, because now I have 2 of what I think are the top 5, which means, yes, one of you has Mark Andrews. Yes, one of you has George Kittle. Yes, one of you has TJ Hawkinson. The rest of you are playing some fun-ass game of, hey, is Kyle Pitts going to be good this week, even though his quarterback couldn't hit the broadside of a barn? Maybe. Dallas Goedert, he's 3rd in that pecking order, and they don't throw a lot. Evan Ingram, he's 3rd in that pecking order, and they run more than you want them to. Pat Freiermuth, I love him. He's 3rd in that pecking order. And you just keep doing that. And then you realize, oh, wait, I'm playing a tight end at flex, and one of you is going to get desperate and do something stupid. I've been doing this for years. I did it in a show league we did here where I took Kelce and Kittle early on, and then I just trade banged somebody on a tight end. And then he got hurt the next week.
Yeah.
Rushman asked, but don't you use a roster spot with 2 tight ends? I do. But the fact that I took a tight end in round 1, I made him more valuable by taking one of them away from you. This is basic supply and demand. There ain't much supply on tight ends. There's a lot of supply on quarterbacks. There's only one Pat Mahomes. There's a lot of Derek Carrs that you could survive with. Derek Carr among tight ends is Greg Dulcich, who I love and I want to be best friends with. But he's still not that good, and he's really not consistent. That's how that is my strategy going into every draft. I want Kelce and Waller. I use Waller as that flex. And then I go in and get Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall. I've locked up the Jet situation. I target Brian Robinson in the 7th or 8th round, and then I target the Bears running backs. And I have no problem at running back.
Yeah.
And that's a strategery, boys and girls. You may not like it. You don't have to do it. But I will tell you, if you're playing in the league with me, you're fitting to see it.
Yeah.
Because I can't stop. I can't stop getting Khalil Herbert in the 9th round.
I like Khalil Herbert.
You do or don't?
That's because I do. Because the drop-off on tight ends is stark after, 5. It's a big drop.
Well, here's my thing. All right, so, and I'm going to give you, I'm going to call this the mullet theory before it's all said and done. You got to stop treating these guys like their names. You got to start treating fantasy football like it's the stock market. Because here's what I'm finding. I'm going to give you a couple examples based off ADP. All right, I'm looking at overall ADP. Who's a running back that you don't trust at all? I mean, I'm talking like wife has banged 6 coworkers and now she's having work meetings at 10 o'clock. Like, that's how little you trust whoever this is.
Cam Akers.
Where do you think he's going right now in drafts?
I don't know, probably in the 30s or 40s.
58.
Something stupid.
So he's at the back end of the 5th round. How the hell do you trust Cam Akers? A, line sucks. B, down a lot. C, since the knee injury, that dude looks like he runs in quicksand. Javonte Williams, same thing. Because you get to the end of the 5th round and you go, oh shit, I don't have a running back. I've got to do something now. let me pair that into a real life comparison. Let's say you work 30 miles away from where you live.
Mm-hmm.
What does that make very important to you?
Commute.
Your car.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting until that point and then having to do something is like going to a car dealership saying, if I don't appear at work tomorrow, they're going to fire me. Guess what? That car dealer just heard, I'm going to make a shitload of money on you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Avoid these guys like grim death. I'm not taking Cam Akers. I don't give a shit if I get to the 5th round and I don't have a running back on the roster. I don't care. I'll go get the Bears guys. I'll go get Brian Robinson. I'll pair him with Antonio Gibson, and I'll wish myself the best of luck. But what I'm going to do when you start doing that, let me give you the list of receivers that are going around Cam Akers. Jerry Jeudy and DJ Moore on the higher side with DeAndre Hopkins and Terry McLaurin. I don't love 2 of those. I really love Terry McLaurin, and I really love DJ Moore.
Give me some F1. I'll take Terry.
So why would I not just take DJ Moore instead of reaching for Cam Akers? Because here's what's going to happen. If I'm stacked at receiver, one of you is screwed at running back. Stop treating them like they're names. Don't treat them like you're a guy that you have their damn jersey and that's what you wear on Sundays. That's how you wind up with a team that you look at it and go, wow, I suck a lot. You go full Ralph Wiggum, I'm in danger. Because your team blows dead Bears.
It's not good to look at names anyway. And I mean this like wholeheartedly. People draft like 2 years behind a lot of the time. Like, oh, I remember.
Well,
when
it's like what Tank says all the time of I've got to see it. A lot of people live by that.
Sure.
You shouldn't live by that.
Nope.
That would be like, look, I'm a professional gambler. I make a lot of my money by gambling the things I give you. If I have to see it first, I'm not catching a number.
No, you're behind.
It's just like this past week, or not this past week and the weekend before, on overs in the preseason. If I had to see that, I would not have started 12-6. And the fact that that Vegas reverted and I had basically a push weekend on unders, I would be screwed.
Yeah. The whole point is not to play what everybody's playing. The whole idea
whatever the
is
rest
not
of the
to
league
go,
does, you do the opposite.
Yeah, you don't
if they
wanna,
start
like,
taking quarterbacks, say screw it on a quarterback.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Which takes me to another I can't quit you. And you're going to tell me I'm wrong. It's Deshaun Watson.
Oh.
I can't quit doing it. I mean, I'm going full Pee Wee Herman touching myself in a movie theater. Like, I know I should not be doing this as often as I'm doing it, and it's going to bust my ass before it's all said and done. I cannot stop doing it.
Yeah.
I get on the clock in the 8th round, and he's still there, and I stare at the screen and go, how am I taking anybody else? What's his
That's
floor?
a tough one. No, his floor is what we saw last year.
Do you think he can be that bad again?
I think he can be. I think he's probably not going to be, though. I don't think he's going to be that bad. I think he can be as awful as he was, though.
So, just for posterity's sake, the worst season as a starter that Deshaun Watson ever had, he finished where? And I'm talking the worst on the field season he ever had. He started 3 years in Cleveland, played 6 games last year, obviously had the layoff year, had the year he got hurt in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Where did he finish in that worst year he had where he had 12 interceptions and he only threw for 3,800 yards?
Probably QB 10.
He was quarterback 5. That's the worst year he ever had. Now, he didn't finish. In 2020, he was 5. 2018, he was 4.
Yep.
I think 10 is his floor, and that's where you're drafting him. And by the way, did he ever have receivers as good as Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore and David Njoku?
Well, he had one.
Andre Johnson was Andre Johnson there with him? I can't remember what year he left. I think he was there with him for a year, maybe. Let me check that. I know he finished in Tennessee. Oh yeah, he was nowhere near Houston. He had been gone 4 years by the time Deshaun Watson was starting games. I knew that sounded odd. So, I mean, he's never had a receiver like Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
And I just look at him now and go, hey, yeah, if I'm going to wait, if I go zero quarterback theory, that's where I'm going.
I get that. I have no issue taking him where he's at. Like none. Not one.
Are you one that takes quarterback really early?
No.
Do you live by my theory of first or last?
I will, I'll take a quarterback fairly late.
I go full Ricky Bobby theory of if I ain't first, I'm last. And I'm going to target Deshaun Watson every single freaking time.
It drives me. I hate seeing the run of quarterbacks first round. All of a sudden I'm seeing, 6, 7 guys go. And I'm like, really? Really? That's where we're going today?
Well, the theory is that there are 8 that there's not a whole lot of difference in behind Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
So Mahomes is different. We all know that. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, if you're completely subscribing to that theory. Then there's a drop-off to Fields, Lawrence, Dak Prescott, and I feel like Deshaun Watson should be in that too because I think he has the potential to be as good as the first 6 I said.
I'm fine with that.
I don't see any high upside on any of these others the way I do with him.
If I'm drafting on the back half of a draft, I'm probably going 0 quarterback. I'll go late. You can get a serviceable quarterback late. I would probably at that point do a tight end strat. The mullet theory.
I am a big subscriber of the mullet theory. All right, your other do not drafts. And I'll go about a minute on each one of these.
Sure. Ryan Tannehill is a do not draft for me. That whole situation's a mess. Tennessee's a mess. It's a mess. I don't see how Mr. Mediocrity is going to come out of this crushing. I know people are saying things like, "Oh yeah, he's always consistent," and I'm like, "There's just better quarterbacks to draft." I'd leave Tannehill off, and any Patriot wide receiver. I'm a Patriots fan. This is a Patriots hat. I'm not taking it off because my headset's on over it. I'm going to tell you right now. Don't trust it. Don't. You're going to want to. You're going to say, you're going to hear the news. You're going to hear that Mac has this great connection with Devontae Parker, Kedrick Boy, whoever. Pick whoever you want. Insert whatever name you want. Don't do it. It's a trap. It's a trap. Don't do it.
Indeed. Do you have any others on your do not draft list that we have not touched on yet?
Not on my do not drafts, no.
Okay. Can't quit.
Keenan Allen. I can't quit Keenan Allen.
I don't know that you should.
Oh, I definitely shouldn't, but I can't quit him. People, how many times have you and I said Keenan Allen is a great pick? And everyone goes, but he's hurt all the time. and then you have to look back and go, not really.
It's really not as stark as it is with Mike Williams. Mike Williams has this reputation that he's hurt all the time. He's missed like 7 games in his career.
Yeah.
The problem that I have with Keenan Allen, he's consistent,
mm-hmm.
and he's very, very good. But now he's 31. He just missed 7 games last year. Missed 3 games, not the year before, but the year before that. And I'm afraid that the injury regression catches up to him. And you're not getting a whole lot of – I don't feel like that's being factored into where he's drafted right now.
Oh, probably not.
All right, so with ADP, you tell me which of these guys you would take Keenan Allen over.
Okay.
DJ Moore.
Yes.
Amari Cooper.
Yes.
DK Metcalf.
That might be the line.
All right, that would put him at receiver 17. He's going as 20. Now, let me use the ones behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Watson.
Yeah.
You would take him over Christian Watson.
I would take him over Christian Watson.
These have all been no's to me, by the way.
Yep.
Terry McLaurin.
No.
McLaurin is going as wide receiver 24, just to be clear.
Yep.
I'm going to keep saying, you know what? I'll get to that in a minute. Christian Kirk.
No.
Brandon Ayuk.
No.
All right, so now you've pushed him to wide receiver 20 because the last set of guys I just said are all going behind him. So that means for you, he's going about right. I would literally take every receiver I just said over him except maybe Christian Kirk, and that's only because I don't know what that split's going to look like with Calvin Ridley.
No clue. Yeah.
I'm projecting it. Look, I was heavy on Kirk last year, and that worked out just fine.
Sure did.
One of my, and this is I just have to have you because I love you, is Terry McLaurin. Everybody is losing their minds about, but Sam Howell's not a good quarterback. When has Terry McLaurin ever had a good quarterback in his NFL life?
Never needed one.
Do you know where he finished among wide receivers in PPR scoring last year?
26?
14. He was 25 the year before.
Yeah.
He's going at wide receiver 24 right now. That's his floor. Even if Sam Howell is god-awful, he's still going to find a way to get Terry McLaurin the ball at a rate that Taylor Heineke could get it to him. Or the ghost of Carson Wentz, or whoever else he's been thrown to by in his NFL career.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Sam Howell's really, really good at football, just so we're clear.
I'm fine with I like Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin's one of my, I won't say targets, but he's a guy that I always look for.
I can't stop taking him in the back end of the fourth, beginning of the fifth.
Yeah.
If I get to the fifth round and Terry McLaurin's there, he is going to be on my team.
Amazing. I have Gabe Davis as a can't quit.
Oh, that's like that's an original OG can't quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Explain that one.
Well,
I don't disagree with you, by the way.
Yeah, he had some really so there's three factors here. He's shown flashes where he's been absolutely incredible, like a couple of years ago in the playoffs. Everyone around Bill's camp at one point or another last season was saying, Gabe Davis is it. We're going to get him more involved. And then didn't. I mean, he had some great games, but he didn't. And I don't understand. I don't understand Buffalo's offensive thinking all the time, but I need a piece of the Bills, and Diggs might be too much to pay. The price
Diggs
might
is
just
too
be
high to pay for me.
Yeah, so I like the Gabe Davis. I can't get rid of him. I need him.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm finding myself taking Gabe Davis a lot because he's going at wide receiver 40. That's a good off like Traylon Burks or Gabe Davis.
Yeah, it's Gabe Davis.
It's Gabe Davis, and to me, it's Gabe Davis by a mile. Cortland Sutton or Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis again.
Yep, by a mile. Now, I will say there are several receivers: Kadarius Toney, Michael Thomas, Zay Flowers, Elijah Moore, Quentin Johnston, even to a point, that are in that same ballpark that I could understand why you would take them. You would view them either equivalent or you would take them over him.
Yeah.
It just doesn't consistently go that way.
No.
I want Zay Flowers everywhere because I think he's the number one receiver in Baltimore.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
He is a dog. And every single year we have one receiver that just blows up. Look around the receiver room here and tell me which one it's going to be if it's not him. Jackson Smith-Njigba is the 3 in Seattle at the bare minimum. I like him a lot. Don't get me wrong. How many times do you think Geno Smith's going to throw this year? We've already seen what this offense is going to look like, and it's the same problem that we said with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. You got a high-end running back. I think you got a really nice handcuff in Carbonet. Is it going to sustain 3 wide receivers?
Nah.
He could have big games. And if something happened to Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf, stud.
Yeah.
I don't want to try to project an injury, though.
I have a feeling he's going to make an appearance on a Sunday fantasy show at some point.
No doubt. For those of you that are new, we will be doing our fantasy football shows live on Sundays again this year, and this time we'll be on location. We'll be at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue, right here in lovely Asheville, North Carolina, and Armchair will be joining us for those as well. Coming in on the old Zoom.
On the old Zoomy Zoom.
All right, I think we have eclipsed our armchair time.
Yeah, I got to get out of here.
You gotta go do adult things.
I do have to say one more must-have though.
Okay.
Before I get out of here, it's Lamar Jackson.
Ooh.
And
even at the ADP with all of the things, you're still all in on Lamar Jackson.
I think that Lamar, with everything that happened with the team, everything that happened with all of the off the field stuff, everything that happened with him being injured and not quite getting that team is still good. It's still a good team. And I think that we're writing off a lot of what Baltimore's doing. But I'm going to tell you that I think that he is going to have an incredible year. An incredible year. I think we're going to see some very classic Lamar things. I think we're going to see him throwing a lot. I think they're going to be a very well balanced team, but I think that he's going to have a great fantasy year.
Do you think he rushes enough to sustain him being quarterback 5?
Yes.
I do too. I think even with Todd Monken, I don't think he's going to keep him in the pocket enough to kill that rushing value because it doesn't make any sense.
He's too electric. I don't know.
You have got to have him out of the pocket to some extent, and that will, to me, be enough. I don't know if I can go into the 3rd round, which is where he's going right now, but if he falls into the back end of the 4th or even the beginning of the 5th, I would jump all over it. I don't know that there's a huge difference between Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson for fantasy.
No, I'd agree with that. But I wouldn't pay Fields is getting all the love and the hype, and I'm not fully there yet.
I do love Justin Fields.
He will prominently play a role in my daily fantasy life. I don't know if I want him on my team.
I get that.
The Bears are still the Bears.
You mean?
I heard someone say he's going to throw for 4,000 yards.
Yeah, that was him because he does recreational crimes apparently.
What?
He also said he was one of the 5 best rushing quarterbacks of all time, and I went, Randall Cunningham would like a word.
Yeah.
Because you've been here for an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe calm down. All right, that is our Canada and friend, Mr. Armchair Commentary. Any parting words, my friend?
Don't do crimes, friends. Don't do crimes. Don't forget to sign up for the Battle of the Bell. Get your entries in ASAP so Jeremy can get that over. We have the fantasy Discord. If you're not a part of it, make sure to join up. We have a free portion, but also you get the exclusive access to Jeremy Tank and myself throughout the season if you are part of the Battle for the Belt. So don't forget to let Jeremy's still got to get me that list, but we'll get all your exclusive access.
Oh yeah, I do have to get you that list because you're. Oh yeah, yeah. Remind me of that. I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell people about messaging me on a Saturday night.
Yeah,
I drink a lot.
And that's it for me.
All right, brother. Thank you for jumping on our Canada and friend, Mr. David Smith. We will talk to you very soon. Doing fantasy football things, which will all be kicking off in earnest next week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. All right. That was our Canada and friend, Mr. Armchair Commentary. And now I'm here by myself in just a box. So as we close out here with no tanker, any questions that you have, I will be answering here. We will be starting our daily fantasy football show next week. That you will see the Canadan there in that one. You'll see our buddy Cowboy Zach Hurst in that one, Tank, myself, all helping you get ready for your fantasy football season. So let me scroll up through here and see if there were any. Eric Miller asked, does Michael Mayer in Vegas become a fantasy sleeper? Look, I am always nervous about rookie tight ends because it takes so long for them to learn how to play at the NFL level. It just takes a long time. I'm not averse to drafting him. I'm averse to having a real high expectation of him. So right now he's going 179, which that's a late sleeper. I mean, you're right there at the beginning of the 15th round. I have no problem with that. I think it's high upside. If I was going to take a rookie tight end, it would probably be Luke Musgrave instead of Mayer, because I think you're going to see Green Bay have a more prolific pass offense behind a lot. And Musgrave is higher in the pecking order than Michael Mayer is. I have no problem with it. I like Musgrave a little better, and I would say I'm right there with Laporta and Mayer right at about the same spot. Lost my spot there, my bad. Jonathan Welch said he thinks Rashad Penny will get cut. I can't agree with that, but I don't really know that I want anything in Philadelphia, because now I think that's just a great big gross fest of they're all fine, but I never know which one's which. So invariably, I'm going to play the bad one the week that they get 8 carries. Trey S. was asking us about rate your squad. We will start doing those things next week. But the squad that you posted, which was Lamar, Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Ramondre, Javonte Williams, Waddle, Ingram, and then a bunch of the ancillary guys you would expect on a bench. Very solid, full PPR, pick 2 out of 12. That's about as good as you can do out of the 2 slot. I'm going to assume you took Jamar Chase at 2. And got Ramondre on that. That's solid. Let's see. A lot of people talking about getting screwed by quarterbacks. Don't let recency bias burn you. Recency bias, it's one of those things that you say, oh, never again. And you become you got your blinders on to such a point that you can't see what happens right in front of you. All right, Danny Fins. Oh, Eric Miller asked about DK Metcalf. I'm all in for DK this year. He's in my target list because I like him better than Tyler Lockett. Last year, DK finished, I don't remember exactly where he finished. He was 16th among receivers. He had some off games, but the high side was there. I think he's a wide receiver 1, even with Smith and Jigba, even with Lockett. I don't really care. He's just that much of a matchup nightmare. And frankly, I think every running back in the league that could actually stop him is on his own, or every cornerback in the league that could actually stop him in that division is on his own team. So apologies, Eric Miller. I had seen that and then I forgot about it. Danny Finsfan asks, can I put the mullet strategy in my 20-team home league? Absolutely. More teams in the league, the more valuable it is to have a limited commodity. So you can go double tight end. The only thing is you have to get real cute running back. I mean, real cute. You can do the Chicago thing, but you're going to take them way earlier, because in a league that big, those guys fall in like the 4th round. And so it gets very, very hard to do. Let's see. One Nation Underground. Do you still think Sean Clifford is Trace McSorley 2.0? Yes, I do. Sean Clifford is one of those guys that will be in this league for a long time because he is just athletic enough to be a mobile quarterback, but I don't know that he has high-end talent. I mean, he'll be the backup in Green Bay. They obviously believe in him. So, I mean, he's fine. I just don't think he's anything to write home about. Rushman asked, got to drop 2 of these, and there's 4. Thielen, Zeke, Sutton, Bixby. I don't know who Bixby is. I think that feels like an autocorrect. I don't have an aversion to Thielen is 32 years old. I don't know that he's rosterable right now in a standard 12-team league. Zeke's a handcuff to Ramondre Stevenson. To me, it's nothing more than that. I think Cortland Sutton is a rosterable receiver. Tank Bigsby. There we go. I would probably keep Tank Bigsby. He's the 2 in Jacksonville, especially if you have Travis Etienne. So that would be my answer. I would probably keep Tank Bigsby and Sutton unless you have Ramondre Stevenson, and then I would keep Sutton and Zeke. But Thielen, I think you can drop with no issue. Let's see. Chauncey Major said, every time George Pickens breathes, I get higher on him. Yeah, I do too. There's a lot. There's a lot to like with that kid. We know him personally too. We did a NIL deal with him, and he was just a really likable kid. All right. Went 70 minutes there with no tanker. Didn't do it on the radio because I was afraid I'd say the thick word. So we will be back with the ESPN radio show tomorrow. I will tell you, as a little behind closed doors, the schedule of this show is getting ready to change pretty drastically, but it will be a good thing. For those of you that like uncensored content, it will be a very good thing for you. I'll put it that way. And it'll be a great thing for Tank, who, if you weren't here at the beginning of the show, Tank did have a little medical issue Friday. He is back at home, resting nicely. Took a little walk this morning, seemed to be feeling good, and says he's going to be back here tomorrow, which, God bless medical marvels and things like that. So thank you for all the T's and P's to the tanker, and he'll be back here tomorrow. And that's 70 minutes of fantasy football goodness with a big dumb bear and the Canadan. If there's no more questions, I'm going to get out of here, go get myself a little extra rest, cook a little HWA dinner, and we will see you right back here tomorrow.